Hello, this is Andrew Spoth with Smart Enterprise, and today I have Babar Amin with CA Technologies. Babar, thank you for coming and your time. So we're going to cover a couple of concepts that Babar has talked about in the past, as well as some of the concepts being talked about at the conference here, the RSA Security Conference. So the first one I'd like to bring up is bring your own identity, that concept. What does it mean today? Can you share that with our readers?
Sure, Andrew. So bring your own identity is really the natural evolution of bring your own device. We all have identities. You're Andrew, I'm Babar. We all exist as those identities. So why is it that enterprises or applications that we're trying to access continuously try to give us an identifier, right? Why can't they just use who we are? And you know, this becomes even more important as we all start using more social media and we all start creating online personas that are long-lived personas, that are our live streams, right? Your Twitter account, your Gmail account, your Yahoo account, your Facebook account. These things are a representation of who you are, right? So there's a lot of information there, and this is your identity. This is who you are. This is your identity. It resides online. It's available online. So why not consume that information? Why not leverage the same identity and identify you using that information and the attributes that are inherently associated with that information? So that's really all about what bring your own identity is all about.
Let me throw out another buzzword to you, and there's obviously a story behind this one. So identity and access management as a service. So IAM as a service. What does that mean?
So IAM as itself as an industry has existed for a long time. Again, it's about managing the life cycle of an identity. It's about managing access to resources. It's about managing entitlements, right? What used to happen was that all of those entitlements, those resources, you know, they were either in a mainframe or those identities were in a mainframe, and we've been doing that for a long time. Or they existed on premise, and you know, users needed to have access to them, and you were trying to come at them from on premise or from a very closed ecosystem, closed loop. Now these resources that you would be entitled to are in the cloud. With SaaS applications, with platforms as a service, with infrastructure as a service. So again, it's a natural evolution to say, well, I also want to have my identity system, my provisioning system, my self-service system, my control for access to reside in the cloud, because it allows me to interact with that from anywhere, from any device, and at any time. And what that then opens up for us is also the notion that as you start interacting with your consumers as an enterprise, you have a lot more consumers than employees. And putting all that consumer data inside of your identity management system and giving them value add can be very problematic and expensive and to manage all of that. So buying identity and access management as a service where you can have millions of users, your consumer users, in addition to your employees and your partners, all being managed in a holistic manner, in a common manner, and applying common, consistent policy on them is really important. And that's where IAM as a service makes a lot of sense.
So Babar, a couple of days ago at the conference, panel discussion, near the end of the panel, one of the audience members, very interesting question, caused a bit of a discussion. The question was, who in the organization should be responsible for cloud security? Do you want to, how can we answer that? Do you want to say a few words about that?
I'm glad you brought that up, because we just did a study, commissioned a study with the Ponemon Institute on cloud security and the responsibility of who's responsible, and they did a large survey, and it's it's pretty much split at this point between providers and end users. And we believe that too, that cloud security, when you outsource services and when you're buying services from the cloud, it is a shared responsibility, right? The enterprise needs to have proper policies in place, while the cloud provider needs to have proper controls in place to protect the information in the cloud, to make sure that the software is patched, the physical access to those devices is maintained in a proper manner, and everything is audited and logged in terms of who's accessing the information. And then there's proper separation of data between the different tenants. Right? While on the enterprise side, you must have the proper policies in place to make sure that you're going to give entitlements to your users as a tenant administrator. So it's a shared responsibility, and both sides need to work together and provide a holistic model.
Great. Well, thank you very much for your insights today. It was good chatting with you.